Heinz Fellbrich spends most of his time these days sitting at home at Eastleigh near Southampton, enjoying a well-earned retirement. He's 87 now, and because that's sometimes the way of things when you pass 80, it's the moments of his youth that are often most clear in his mind. The years, for instance, when he was an Unteroffizier in a crack unit of the German army. The years when he and thousands of others like him swept through Europe on a tide of German victories.
Over 10,000 troops were landed in this manner, before the stunned citizens of Rotterdam even knew they were at war.
And the months when he and countless others nearly froze to death as the Germans strove and failed to capture Moscow. Today, as on most days, Heinz waits for his wife June to come home from the shops and from bingo. There'll be a cup of tea waiting for her.
Hello, darling, I'm home. All right?
Did you win?
No, don't be silly.
June and Heinz have been married 60 years.
Ruby won and Peggy won, but I didn't win. I can't get much luck, can I?
No. You're lucky to have me.
And when they married in August 1947, they defied convention and the hostility of their neighbours to do so. For Heinz was a German prisoner of war, and June was the first British girl to marry a German POW.
When I was walking out with him in his German prisoner of war uniform in the daylight, they used to be rude and say, "Aren't our boys good enough for you?" Just spit on me.
Spit on you?
Kick me, you punched me. But I just ignored them and went on walking.
The prisoner of war camp was at Southampton near the airport. Heinz had been captured in 1944 by the Americans near the River Rhine in Germany.
Oh, they put us on trucks and shipped us over to England.
What was the camp like in Southampton?
Oh, it was lovely, lovely camp. It was a Yankee camp. There was everything for them. There was lovely mattresses and all that sort of thing. It was lovely camp.
What sort of jobs did you do, Heinz?
I was a lorry driver.
They got a penny an hour to work. They built roads and put up prefabs, and they had to make good a lot of the German bombings that had been done.
Heinz's father, Johann, had also fought against the British in France in the First World War. But in victory in 1919, the Allies had also sowed the seeds of discontent that would lead to World War II only 20 years later.
Well, they took parts of it away from Germany, and that's what started the Second World War, because Nazi Hitler, he wanted it all back.
Heinz was brought up amid the devastation of a defeated Germany, with inflation rampant and morale and public services shattered. But from 1933, Hitler and his National Socialists had offered the Germans hope and a new discipline.
They'd done a lot for the poor people there. Family allowance come in and all this, and everybody had work. You wanted everybody work hard and be the same.
Uniformity was the aim, and Heinz joined the Hitler Youth, as did a whole generation of young Germans.
They started us off to be big people, soldiers, and, you know.
When did you become a soldier?
1940, 16 I think I was. I was mostly dispatch rider. Took papers one airport to another.
In 1940, the Wehrmacht swept the Allied armies out of mainland Europe. France, Belgium and Holland surrendered. Heinz became part of the German forces occupying Holland.
You must have thought really that you were winning the war then.
Oh, we were. We were.
But in June 1941, Hitler invaded Russia, and all that came to an end.
What was that like?
Horrible. We flew and landed on the lake on ice. Skidded along, yeah.
So you came in a glider, did you?
Yeah.
He said it was minus 50 degrees there, and a lot of the men lost their feet and hands and nose and stuff.
Frostbite?
Yeah.
They lost legs, everything, you know, the frost was over 50 degrees.
And you weren't ready for that?
No.
Nor dressed for it?
No, not dressed for it. No.
How did you survive?
Well, we had to. You had to survive. You had to keep going and going and going, keep yourself warm.
You were wounded, I think, in
Yes,
Russia.
I was. One of our company trod on a mine. So I went to get him out of there, and bugger me, I stepped up another one. And that's my injuries here. And I went back to x-rayed it, and I said, your foot's like bone salad.
Bone salad.
Yeah.
Did you rescue your comrade?
Yeah.
Did he survive?
I don't know. I never seen him no more. Never seen him no more.
I think you got a medal for that.
Yeah, an Iron Cross and a helmet. That's for injuries, you know.
Does the wound still give him trouble?
Yes, very much so. He got a job to walk on it, and he was in hospital for 12 months before he was sent back to Germany.
Did he at that time know what had happened to his family in the war?
No, he didn't know where they were.
Heinz had 6 brothers and 2 sisters. His father was once again a soldier fighting his second war against the British. He was killed.
Only seen him once. I was on holiday then. And from there on, never see him again.
Heinz's brother Franz was in U-boats.
On the big farm, he was blacksmith. When he shoot the horses, and he didn't have to go, but he wanted to go. And he went to Stalingrad. Never heard no more from him.
Ernst, and hundreds of thousands like him, died at Stalingrad.
Then the Luftwaffe battered the great port towns of Southampton.
Meanwhile, life was by no means easy for Jane Tull and her family living at number 33 Langhorne Road, Southampton. June's father drove a tram.
It was very hard. The kids had an outing once a year, that's all, with the trams. And that's the only time we ever went to the seaside when I was a child. My mother in the summer used to give us a bottle of water and some jam sandwiches, and we used to go down the river all day, and we thought we was in heaven. In September 1939 I was evacuated to Bournemouth because that was an open city.
But they didn't bomb it, you mean?
No. 2 of the boys went to Dorset on a farm there.
Did Mum stay?
She stayed in Southampton the whole time, yes, during the war. They slept down the air raid shelter every night.
But by 1944, the war was going badly for Germany.
When the Russians began to push forward into Germany,
Yeah.
what happened to your family?
Mother, she took him. They had 2 horses and a cart, and everything went on there.
They walked for 3 months from the East Zone to near Hamburg, where they live now, with a horse and cart. And Heinz never knew where they were.
Why did they want to flee from the Russians?
Well, they didn't want to stay there, and the Russians. I mean, they had revenge for what we done to them, you know.
The fear was that the women would be raped
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
and that the men would
Yeah.
be killed.
Yeah.
Fit again, though walking with a limp, Heinz was pressed back into the army. The Wehrmacht were now in full retreat.
I wanted to get across the Rhine.
To retreat?
We tried to make floats, but it was too dangerous. So in the end, we had enough and said, let's go back towards the Yanks. So we buried all our weapons in the woods. The Yanks was there. They just come on with their guns and, you know, hands up, pinched everything what you are.
Like what?
Watches, especially watches.
How did they treat you?
No, they was quite good. I pinched everything, but otherwise they was good too.
Jane Tull had left Southampton as an evacuee when she was 9 years old.
And when you came back,
I was 15.
did you have boyfriends before you met Heinz?
Yes.
Anyone you were particularly fond of?
Yes, one.
What happened to him?
I gave him up after I met Heinz.
Just like that?
Yeah.
When did you first see Heinz then?
There was snow on the ground, and the lake at the common was frozen, and we went skating on the lake on the Sunday afternoon with Amy and Eric, my friend, and her German friend.
So Amy was already going out with a prisoner of war?
Yes.
Can you remember what you said when you first saw Heinz?
I said, "Oh, he's gorgeous. I fancy him."
Why was that? Was he handsome?
Oh, very. Really tight black curly hair.
Did you think anyone would be upset if you went out with him?
I don't think I took it into consideration, actually.
Didn't matter to you?
No, I was young and stupid.
Or, quite simply, head over heels in love. At the end of World War II, tens of thousands of captured German prisoners of war were imprisoned in the UK, among them Heinz Fellbrich. They became the object of some interest to two Southampton girls, Jane Tull and her best friend, Amy.
We were outside the camp on the road, and they were inside the barbed wire. And we stood there with our bikes talking to them over the barbed wire.
And what did you think of June the first time you met her?
Well, she looked a nice girl. So I fancied her.
We couldn't speak much English when I first met him.
And how was your German?
Non-existent.
So how did you manage to communicate? Did you teach him English?
Feet and hands.
The prisoners had a curfew. They had to be back in camp by 8 o'clock, which made things difficult for Heinz and June.
He used to get out though, didn't he, when he shouldn't be?
Yes.
How did he manage that?
We used to go out at nights and under the barbed wire.
They made a ditch underneath it to get out in. And he used to crawl back in there in the mornings before roll call.
So how long had you been going out with him, really, before you decided you'd better tell your mother?
A couple of months, I suppose. I said I wanted to bring him home one night. So she said, "I'll bring him Sunday for dinner," and he came to Sunday dinner with the family.
She liked me, yeah. I used to go down there every Monday to the washing.
I bet she was pleased about that.
Yeah. Yeah.
She was fine at the time.
At the time.
At the time, yeah.
Did things change?
Yes, later.
Eventually, a worried June told her mother that she was pregnant.
I wanted to get married, and she was worried what her